Black Quantity VTF at T3 Live, and if it's Tuesday, it's the Wheels in Motion show. And the thing is, we don't have the benefit of an extra day. So the reason we want to do it on Tuesday to make sure we have a 2-day follow through, which we don't have the benefit of today. What we do have is a lot of earnings coming out. And we're just going to follow the sequence as we know it. So we came out this morning and we do the 2-2 reversal on the daily. So we knew that because we're inside month on broader averages and a lot of things, and we're probably not getting out of there, eventually they're going to bring them in. And so a good time to do it. New week drops in as an inside week. So you got inside month, inside week, and conflict in the SPY, which is a bit of a problem, right? So it's a matter of following this. What's the next two? Watching the 60s as far as the broader averages. But we still have a lot of earnings coming out. And so that's really a lot of the focus is going to be on a lot of the gaps. But we can still watch the motion of the ocean, things taking out last week's highs. So here, so far, SPY inside week. So what we want is things, if we start to go back up and say we get the 60 here, and you see we had a rough strat here inside, then hammer and back up. If we can start to take out yesterday's highs, and SPY's got a ways to go to do that, but if it starts moving higher, green on the day, green on the 60, we'll be looking at those things taking out yet last week's highs. So to start off the week, that's not too many, but we'll take a look at it. So we had, it's actually more than you might think, but eBay, but that was a gap. So it still has to disseminate the gap, and it's red on the week, so it's in conflict. So it would have to come up and retake that opening. Otherwise, you got a good chance at inside day tomorrow if it does hold. So either way on that thing, you can see if it comes in on the 2-2 reversal, if everything's still coming in. FitB and FitB Bank does this. Takes out last week's highs, and the reason that's important for a few reasons is that you're closer to taking out that monthly high, the 1-3 back up too on that. So we can watch that because the XLF, albeit inside month, stayed inside day to start the week. So you have a lot of like Bank of America, I believe, Wells Fargo. The banks haven't made a decision on this week, so tomorrow, if you see the market start to firm up, you can look at the banks because they're the ones that really stayed firm by staying inside day and have the best chance at going 2 on the day for a lot of things. In the Dow Jones, McDonald's goes up. Now you see you got a big range to try and get out of here. Maybe that's not where it closed though. Here, 184, so it comes up like this on the weekly. 184.57 taking out last week's highs. And the daily, come on, fix it. There you go. You're a little bit closer to taking that back to the upside. Starbucks, another gap. Let's see, it didn't gap. It's above last week's highs. Still inside month here. Sorry, sometimes this stuff messes up here on my updating on this side. But it does take out last week's highs. You just got to get out of that daily range. Coke, and you can watch that with the Dow Jones. With the Dow Jones and the XLP. So Coke here, multi-bar pattern with slightly inside week to the upside. Like I said, you watch that with XLP and the Dow Jones. Then we got a concentration in the exchanges here. So slightly taking out last week's highs. Handily inside month is ICE, CBOE, inside week to the upside, and CME. Here, so we can watch that concentration inside weakers to the up. Not everybody was doing that. Fiserv from last week's gap are down and coming all the way back, and Fiserv here was big outside week, then comes up here going 3-2 weaker to start off the new week. Still inside month on that. UPS, I believe, have earnings this week, so be aware of that, obviously. But starting off thinking that maybe the worst is over, coming back up through this stuff, and it is above last week's highs. CCI in the towers, coming up through this hammer, and handily inside month, but you can watch that with the American Tower and SBAC. Even though they were down, you can see if they reconfirm each other, or negate and say, okay, only one went up and then gets sucked in by the others. That's how you want to use sub groups and stuff like that to see what's going on. STLD came up in the steels. STLD still walking up here, takes that. Also going to be an outside day. here for the 3-2 potential, and still has some room, but getting closer to taking the month to the upside. Wendy's 4 for 4, handily inside month, but you got the weekly Momo Hammer. Was that inside? No, not by a penny, but just taking that out, handily inside month. And so when you see some of these tight ranges too, you're going to see a lot of these tighter triangles. You just got to stay out of here. You get those slight lower lows and the slight higher highs. You just want to stay out of there. Otherwise, you see things pull back in, like say something like an Amazon here, where you're like, oh, it's breaking out, boom, back through the try. So we'll see how that goes. All right, if we go to STOR, potential 3-3 month outside, and taking the weekly highs out to try and come back up after this stuff. Under Armour in the retail, and Under Armour gaps up a tad here, and so it comes in. So we want to retake that opening to get that continuity going back. You also have a lot of retail going inside days today, so you can keep an eye on how all that plays out. Your TG Maxx, your Ross stores, Nordstrom, Tiffany's. So just a bunch of retail also held inside, albeit XRT does this, coming back through. So whenever you see a tight range, you want to stay out of there. A lot of people like to look at tight ranges and be like, I want it tight so I can have a tight stop. Yeah, it usually means just doing nothing. They come back through and take out both sides. But we'll see how that goes. In the utilities, you had PEG taking out last week's highs. So you can keep an eye on that. The 3-2 weaker in the utilities. They start coming back into the Utes. TAP, more XLP. Here, taking out weekly Momo Hammer. BLL Ball Corp. And Ball Corp, taking out last month's highs. You're just flirting with the highs here, so you got some exhaustion risk, but you do it with a higher high in the week. BDN, that's REITs. You can watch that with the REITs. And barely, but taking out those highs. See if we can come back through this stuff. Also getting closer to taking out the monthly highs. So VNQ, like this. Nowhere near taking that out. All right, so be aware of that. Meat. And meat, triangle them out. Like you see on the monthly here. Hammer month up, and you came back through and took this up. You see an outside month here. There's another broadening formation. So you've taken that out. Looks like this. Like so. So you want to see if you can expand that by using this inside week here to get out of there. HOLX. HOLX, slightly taking out the week. Had some shenanigans, it looks like, this morning, huh? Oof, there we go. So that's it, gets them going. So potential also here on the month. The 3-2, if you can take that out. And that makes it close here. Momentum hammer above last week's highs. Waste management. Waste management takes out last week's highs. Coming after the highs of the 3-monther to go 3-2 to try and go to the highs. You just have some exhaustion risk by going into new highs. EQR, that's more REIT. And still handling inside month. And slightly taking out the week, still trying to chug up towards this stuff. NEE, more utilities. All right, goes to the upside. Handily inside month. But you do got outside 3-2 week, go to the upside. RPM. And RPM comes down. Inside week to the upside very slightly. So we'll see if we can get anything going there. WELL. And that's more REIT. Slightly taking out last week's highs. So just doing the grinder, unfortunately, but it is what it is. NVRO. NVRO. Taking out last month's highs and last week's highs here. So trying to come back up through all this stuff. CDK. CDK, last week's hammer, 3-2 to the upside. Getting close to taking the month here. Take the month here at 51.55, getting there. Humana, still driving up after slightly taking out that low. and then last week's inside week to the upside here, taking more highs out. And you can watch that Cigna, not doing much, but you can watch ANTM, see if these all start to pick up any steam or not. So far, no. So I want to see if they reconfirm any of that stuff. AIV, more REIT. And taking out the highs. And you can remember some of this stuff was in the Wheels in Motion show a few weeks ago because we had all those inside weeks. And those are real nice. And so you can see still going. The VNQ did that off the inside week. And we talked about that back then. But now it's now. Deckers, inside week to the upside. You got a lot of this stuff to take out. The good thing is we wanted to see over the weekend, is it weak enough to come down and take this stuff out and fill this triangle down here, or just take out these stops and go back up. So far it's trying to go back to the upside. Like I said, we have a lot of inside days in the retail to keep an eye on. PCRX, multi-bar pattern, we would be aware of that. All right. But you're getting close to changing that continuity in the monthly back. Green. And slight weaken up. Downside, downside's a whole lot more. Comcast, taking out last week's lows, and this is what you would look for the triangle amount to the upside. The 2-2 reversals, just like we got on the dailies in broader averages, and pretty much a lot of everything today. MO, still puking, and that's just 2 into the downside. But you can see here that was the daily. This is the kind of reversal you look for. Kicker, daily 2, 2 down. So now there's just 2 continuation. Netflix, oh, how they covered these shorts too quick, and they got squeezed out. Now shooter down, 2-2 reversal on the week. Still green on the month, but and taking out last month's high, so we want to be aware of that. So it's in conflict. But for this week, so far, you got that. Qualcomm, just 2-2 week, hasn't been doing much. Still would be inside month. So it's been, the ranges have been a little tight there, and that's why we look for these kind of setups: 2 down, 2 up, then 2 back. Right, stop them out and then come back through here. But for right now, 2 week continuation down. In the oil patch, OAS. Took it out. Did it stay down? Yeah, I'm sorry. This is wrong. Here we go. You can see this pattern all over. Triangle them out. Now come back through. Gives you that inside week down with the oil number, I believe, delayed because of the holiday, so probably coming out Thursday. Tesla. And Tesla, outside week to the downside and taking that 3-2 down with the risk of going 3-2 down on the month. And the daily looking like this. Still watching this try, coming down on these guys. See if there's more pain and suffering. WB, there you go. 2 up, 2-2 reversal. Pivot machine gun through there, which gives you the 2 weekly continuation because it was already a 2. And if you look at the monthly, you're going to see this. Inside 2, 1, 2, 2. Scenario rev strat, trying to take out all these guys. Edit was a gap and puker. Off the shooter, 2-2 reversal day. 2-2 reversal week. Off this stuff, so you still got some more stuff to come after in here. Corning. Three, 2, 2 back through, and so it completed that. Whenever you see the outside bar, and then the reversal back into it, the magnitude is there, which it did. So this thing's a little tight. It's also doji on the month, which is a problem when you get this late into the month. However, it is gone 2-2 back down on the week. Pulte Home, taking out last week's lows. Daily triangle we've been watching for a while looks like this. Boom. Gets back into the old try like so. And so we can look for here is also, if you go to ITB trying to go back into the try here, inside week, like this, if they want to rip her back down through this stuff. The 2-1-2 reversal. Pets. Pats. A bunch of continuation here because you're 3-2 down on the week. Monthly, 2 down, right? Yep, 2 down. So you're just going exhaustion risk. Big Momo shooter if they want to take her out. We had some real wild antics in there to see how they resolve all this. DHI, more home builder. And the problem for this thing is, once again, potential 3-3 because this is outside, now potential outside. It's still green on the month, but now you got your inside weak to the downside. You can see the triangle here, just like in the ITB. TLRY. TLRY goes 2 up and is now taking this out. Magnitude here, the low of that, 68.10. Looking to take that out. On the 2 goes compound 3. CarMax. CarMax, weekly continuation. Here was the 2-2 reversal. Still going off of that. Still inside month. And we'll see if it can be weak enough to come down and test all these guys. FTNT. FTNT on the gap down. Weekly. 2 up, 2 down, but it's green. You need to retake that. Issue here, once again, is going to be this. Doji inside month, not doing much, so be aware of that. EXEL. And month, triangles them out. Week, tries to go inside week and down here. We'll see how much more that's got in it. Daily, big try like this. You do stop, take all this stuff out. We'll see if there's any continuation on that. Captain Sig into the dirt, and that's just straight momentum because it's going into the lows. Boom. So it needs to keep going. Don't let it reclaim. Here was your 2-2 that we like better. Bam. Lennar, more home builder. Slight 2-2 down. 2-1-2 down, inside week down. Grubhub. Grubby. And that's an inside week to the downside. You see this tight range. Once again, the problem here is going to be this monthly doji, but you can give it full time frame continuity back to the downside, which is the good part. As you can see in the daily, much like we looked for, boom, the 2-2 reversal, like a lot of things, and boom, you took all that stuff out. It's a matter of being weak enough to take that. Crispy, triangle out, boom. So tight triangle business in here, still inside month in green, but you do have the weekly 2-2 down if they want to bring her in. Fang, more energy. Slightly to the downside, going 2-1-2. Still inside monther. THC. 2-2 reversal on the weekly. Still inside and green on the month, like a lot of things conflicted. And on the daily, you got this. There was your 1-3-2, and you took a bunch of this stuff out. So we'll see if that 2-2 continues to take hold. That's more healthcare. Zilla, triangle they out, RevStrat, daily, bam. Still doji monter, inside would be the problem, but you did get this with the home builder stuff and the 2-1-2 down weekly. Charter, and Charter, weekly Momo shooter, trying to get through here. Once again, this is slight higher high, so you're trying to go compound 3 of all this stuff if they want to hit it. Monthly is this. Still inside, but coming closer. So we'll see if it can keep going after taking all this stuff out, if it's weak enough to take that. ARWR. ARWR. Still inside month. Weekly gives you the inside week back down. Oprah. WTW. Inside week slightly down, still in the pattern. You're just going into lower lows, so you got some exhaustion risk, but yeah, you're still powering down monthly. DLR, REIT, trying to go the other way. Doji on the month would be the issue. You got your 3-2-2 back into the big try, which would be good, and we've been watching this try for a while, so if they want to hit it, here's your daily try. Melly. And Melly on the day, trying to get out, bam. Still handily inside month. And the weekly, 2 up, 2 down reversal. HSIC. 2 up, 2 down on the shooter. The problem, the issue here, doing nothing on the month. But the good part about the doing nothing is that you do have the opportunity to get that full time frame continuity to the downside. Concho, more energy. Handily inside monther. Weekly, slightly 2-2 down. Toll Brothers. More home builder. Trying to go 2-2 down on this. And it would be interesting if it sets up the big shooter counters all these hammers coming into the new month. But we got a week on that. The Papist. iPaper inside monther. And no, it was LPX. Triangle the out, and slightly below last week's lows, 2-2. The shoes, Crocs, is it time? Triangle the out, you can see all this broadening formation here. And now trying to go 2-2 on the weekly back down through this here. CONN, retail. And a little tight in there. You can see this monthly. It's monthly doji and tight, and you can see this triangle, big triangle in here. See if we can get an expando out of it. But you are slightly to the week down. AMC. 212 inside week reversal. PXD, more energy. PXD trying to do the 212 inside week and back downer. ACAD. Weekly shooter back down. Not strong enough to take this out. However, if it goes back up, you're sitting there flirting with last month's highs. So here, make sure it keeps coming back through here. Here's the tighter triangle. Triangle needed to grow. It did. Bam, bam. Play on the 3-2 day down today. Gives you the weekly shooter 2-2 reversal down. FSLER. Solar. Trying to tight triangle business in here. And we did have the 3 month, but you can see how tight this was here. So it either gets out of that 3, 1, 3, 2, or starts coming back into the tri like it's trying to do here. You can see this tight range. Up, 2-2 daily reversal. Boom. Pivot machine gun on all these guys. Of course, you're going to be weak enough for this. So as long as it's below last week's lows, potentially come back through all this stuff. XLRN. He got you. Thought you going that way, huh? Boom. So here, daily, just continuation trying to come into the lows. So you've got exhaustion risk whenever you do that in the monthly. Potentially not inside month. So we'll see if that comes of that. Fossil, retail. Tight inside month. So daily, you had your inside day down. How are you going to get it? You can see how tight this stuff is. But you're going for your inside weekend down. Sina, more China. And you triangle the out, triangle the out. So the more you train your mind to see stuff like this, the happier you're going to be. It's breaking out, is it? Bam. Right? So here's your triangle there, which gives you the weekly 2-2 back down is at 3-2. That's 3-2 back down and try and come back through this stuff. Anytime you see an outside body, you know it's another broadening formation that you're back into, just a little tight. Spirit Airlines. And trying to go the 2-2 back down shooter here. You can watch that with the airlines. Once again, the issue, monthly Doge. Cyber. 3-1-2. It comes back into the old 1 on the month. Shooter down, sub-try. Not strong enough to take that out yet, but we'll see. TSEM, semi. And a little grindy, because it's just too continuation. If they do want a pounder, though, you do got the monthly outside month 3-2 or below that into oblivion. An MLNX. inside month to the downside, 212 month, back into an old 3 month, and weekly continuation. Now these revert to a 1 because they're still in here, so this is down on that. I just want to keep it staying down. So, yeah, like I said, it's like we got a lot of conflict. We got a lot of inside months, and the good thing after the inside months is we get this. The inside month's been very, very good to Chico Escuela. The inside month, bam. All right, so we've had a lot of that kind of stuff where that works real well. But we still have this huge range to get out of, even if we challenge that. And that's why we got to keep going back and forth, waiting for the earnings, stuff like that, and then just being specific where we're going to go until everything lines up and really starts going. So it's been a month of grind to the upside. Now we finally get some counter movement, like here. The question is, how weak is it going to be? And we'll just have to see. All right, that's going to do it for this week. I'm Rob Smith, the Black Quant VTF here with the Wheels in Motion. Shoot.